A while back, a young man came to see me to discuss his call to ministry. I felt it to be a genuine call, and I felt him to have the qualities that ministry requires, which incidentally include humility and a deep questioning as to whether or not this is the right path. It's not a path to be chosen lightly. So, as the conversation proceeded, he said that he was thinking about entering seminary, but that he was holding back. Well, what's the problem? I asked, thinking that he might be struggling financially or maybe he had family constraints. And he said, well, I'm afraid. Well, of course, you obviously should be afraid to go into the ministry. I understood that. But this is what I said to him. I said, well, we're all afraid. We're all afraid. I mean, that's no reason not to enter seminary. I said, I'm afraid every time I step into the pulpit to preach. I mean, I'm afraid. I'm afraid a lot. Fear is a given. But fear doesn't keep us from doing what we know, what we want to do, and what we need to do. Of course, I do belong to the kick-ass school of pastoral counseling. But truly, I have to say, we're all afraid. You look out there and you think, oh, so-and-so's not afraid. They're so confident. No, we're all afraid. It's what we do with that fear that counts. Now, some of you may have been to Florence, Italy, and seen Michelangelo's magnificent statue of David. I was privileged to see that statue. I must have walked around that statue for an hour when I was there, looking at it from every angle. Here is this man-child. He is a child, really, David is, full of humility, full of fear, and he's going up against the mighty Goliath, and he has only a slingshot. Only a slingshot and faith. Faith. Courage is about doing the right thing, even in the face of certain defeat. Courage means standing up against something unjust or evil, even though it is not in your best interest. Courage comes not from reason, but from profoundly felt love. And that love comes from a source beyond ourselves and beyond all reason. Why else would someone be willing to rush into a fire, or any kind of fire, and lose life or limb or reputation? We are moved to live lives of courage because we know that what we do matters to others. That just as courageous individuals have inspired us, our lives need to give courage to those who follow. Our children, and I believe that all children are our children. Our children need to see that we value virtue more than security. Virtue is more important to us than security, and that we know that love trumps fear every time, because we're all connected in a multitude of ways, economically, emotionally, spiritually. Even the physicists tell us literally physically connected. When we fail to live with integrity, we let down the whole community. One reason that the sexual abuse tolerated by the hierarchy of the Catholic Church is so serious is that all churches then are suspect. All ministers are suspect. God is even suspect. Our actions, for good or otherwise, spread like ripples from a stone thrown into the stream of our living. And we simply can't afford to think that our deeds stop with our immediate circle or the people directly affected. When we do act with courage, others follow. I was moved to tears by the brave Burmese monks. Some of them really are only children. who went into the street to protest a few months ago. And then we all watched, while at first a few, and then more, and then thousands of lay people joined them. Yes, some of the monks were killed, others were beaten and jailed, but their actions will bear fruit. It is only a matter of time. Life tests us, doesn't it? It tests us in large and small ways all the time. Life asks us, what are you made of? The easy thing to do is to look away or just go for a trip to the mall or click on the TV set and open a bag of chips or keep busy with this or that to damp down the pain or the fear, to divert ourselves from the realities of life and, of course, our particular life. But when we are able to say, yes, I am afraid, and I'm going to move into that arena anyway, then courage changes us. It stretches us spiritually, and somehow we feel our stature increasing. We become people of more candor, and we have little time for pretense. And yet, a kindliness grows in us because we know the power of fear, and we understand how it can grasp any one of us. In spite of circumstances, we become miraculously more emotionally available and more authentic, present in a richer way than we've ever been, and strangely confident. That confidence existing within the fear and shining through it. You see, fear challenges us, and courage asks us to be more than we have been. When we dare to answer yes, love takes us by the hand and shows us the way home. So be it. Amen.